Welcome to the Jim Fleming Show on the Rhody Sports Network. From Learfield, tonight's show is brought to you by Pizza Gourmet. Rhode Island's wood-grilled pizza crust is a proud sponsor of URI football. Clean Right, fast 24/7 emergency cleaning and disaster restoration. Floor and Decor, shop unmatched selection and get flooring, tile, and wood at unbeatable prices. Orthopedics Rhode Island, the official orthopedic and sports medicine provider for URI Athletics. Dave's Fresh Marketplace. Better food, better service. Newport Propane, Rhode Island's #1 choice for all your propane needs. Here's your host, Steve MacDonald.
Welcome once again to the Mews Tavern for the Jim Fleming Coaches Show. The 4-2 Rams at home this weekend against UNH, a rivalry game and a league game, all CAA the rest of the way. Excited about that. Want to thank our friends at Newport Propane, Rhode Island's #1 choice for all your propane needs. Family owned and operated since 1959. Newport Propane will treat you like part of the family. Visit them at newportpropane.com. We got Rohan Davy coming on in a little bit on the defensive side, and we got Connor Feiner on the offensive side representing the University of Rhode Island. Two guys, we'll get into it later, Coach, but two guys who have really come on the scene and taken advantage of a big opportunity to be influencers on this team.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I'm thrilled to have them both. You know, I was sitting there trying to figure out who we're going to bring on the show, and I had Stone up in the office. We were talking about it, and you seem to forget sometimes that Rohan's still a redshirt freshman.
No kidding,
that's
right?
easy. So he's way ahead. So he doesn't know how advantaged he is here, but he's made a big time impact, emotionally on our defense and how he's playing. Obviously, stacking up a lot of tackles. And then Connor, I think, has been one of the biggest offensive threats that we have. We've able to open up the tight end, be able to receive the football, what he's able to do with it afterwards. He's sitting there helping on special teams. So, I mean, I'm thrilled to have them both. And, we get to go ahead and play 6 games in a row right now, CAA.
That's it.
Death march, and we're going to have to play our very best to be able to take home the first one.
Yeah, Rohan's still a kid, but Connor's the old man around here. Redshirt senior, coming from Kennesaw after 4 years there. But he's in a group at tight end of old men. We got grads and redshirt seniors all over the place, right?
No doubt.
They get 50% off on dinner if you go before 4:30.
No,
right?
it's a great room. It's a great room. You got guys that have been around the block a little bit, and you saw Matt Smith, I think, get his first college touchdown, and
Will Dixon,
Will Dixon, waiting to go ahead and
guy.
come on. He's been banged up a little bit, but Connor's been getting it done. He was a little tired of blocking for the triple option down at Kennesaw State.
Yeah.
So Flanagan found him and put it together, and the rest is history. He's doing a really nice job.
Kevin
for us.
Schaefer, who was with you before, he's a true tight end. Like, he can a blocker for you. Could do a lot of good things. And he started off this season with a big 31-yard touchdown catch, right?
That's right.
We thought he was going to challenge Marquise the rest of the way he got started.
Listen, I get tired of hearing Tom Cataldo and my wife talk about throw to the tight end. So that's why we went this way. So, and now the ball's getting there.
I don't know if Connor's receptions count, though, do they? I mean, he's like Tommy Smith last year. He's a tight end. You got to give him a position, right? So,
I was a tight end too, so we'll call him a tight end.
He's a pass catcher, right? You put it out there, he goes and gets it, and then he'll get you a few after he catches it too, which is pretty good. So we're going to talk to both Rohan and Connor coming up. I want to thank our sports information team over here. Michaela Benford's here. Stone Freeman, who's newest on the staff, a veteran for the University of Rhode Island, right? A graduate of URI and master's at URI as well. Teaches at URI and also has been part of the program, a part of the family forever, is now assistant athletic director. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, but you're leaving out the biggest part.
What's that?
My BFF.
Your BFF.
When we were back in COVID, if you remember that.
Yeah.
We had that show, Coach a la carte.
Oh, yeah.
And me and him went all over the state.
Right. Didn't you go to Newport Propane? Didn't you go to their house?
Yep.
Right? Yeah.
Just had my knee replaced. I sat there and ran around with him, and he said, boy, I never thought I'd be riding around in your white GMC, which I'm still driving around.
He still got it,
we go to some cool places. It was a great way to fill a COVID fall, that's for sure.
Hey, beat UNH. We'll get you something even nicer, Coach, okay?
Sounds like a
And we'll
plan.
get Stone one as well. Stone, congratulations on joining the sports information staff as assistant athletic director in charge of media relations under Shane Donaldson, of course, who is heading the department. So all those people are here, which is cool. Coach, we got good news, and Shane was just talking about it. You look at the Rams in the NFL and the lot of guys in camp. Eddie Lee, for one, was in the Patriots camp, and we got Rohan on, both those guys from St. John's College and high school down in Maryland. But most recently, Rex Sonahara has been activated by the Cleveland Browns, so he is now the third Ram player to be active in the NFL with A.J. Cornelius and the Cowboys, and now Jordan Colbert with Miami. So a good feather in the cap for the program.
Well, Rex was a long story. I remember, Pete Rex, he was our defensive coordinator for quite some time. I think it was 6 years. It was his nephew. They're all from that area. I think it was Bay Village or something like that up in just outside of Cleveland. And he brought Rex in the summer, and a big, tall, lanky kid, and who could snap, and he wanted to play basketball. If you remember, he played basketball for Danny as well.
Yeah,
when
right,
he was on
right.
that squad.
Yep.
But thrilled for their success, and, they've all got a little piece of Rhode Island history.
Absolutely. Good stuff. One more thing before we get to UNH and get down to business here, Coach. On the Monday morning video conference where the coaches all get 10 minutes throughout the league, it's a great way for the media people to ask questions and get information on the week that's passed and the week coming up ahead. And just because I'm going to forget to say this later, but so I want to get it in now. Your standing throughout the league, it seems like you're every coach in the league's best friend that's a coach in this league. And Albany goes right before us, right? And Jared Ambrose was handling that. And he said, as you popped up on the video screen, he said, "This Coach Fleming, he's my best friend in the CAA." And I think if they took a poll of all the coaches in the CAA, I think you'd win that vote.
Well, that doesn't get me much. They didn't vote for me Coach of the Year, so the heck with them, man. I mean, it's all complimentary BS. So, I mean, they're all trying to soften it up. He's got a week to get his team ready and an off week right now to be able to play us after we finish up with New Hampshire.
And you hear when he said he's going to take over the offense?
I heard a lot of things he said.
Over this 2 weeks.
Yep.
And so that'll be a different Albany team that we see in 2 weeks.
Well, it sounds to me like they were in a position like we were years ago. I remember very clearly we got throttled down at James Madison. We had an off week, and we decided as a staff to go old school on the kids and, see who really wanted to play.
Sure.
And we had a lot of dissension, a lot of work going through that one. It was a very physical week in the off week. And we came back and we went down to Elon and we thumped them and got a road victory. And it was a really good sign of things to come and guys that will work through the tough times and be able to come out on the other end and, recognize that this, every time you go out on the field, you got to earn it and you got to be able to play with great pride and passion. And I think that's something that, we've carried through the years and continue to build with talent level. And that's what's been brought, those basic fundamentals have brought about our opportunity to be successful. And, now we got to go prove it this weekend.
Without question. UNH coming into town, Rhode Island, number 18 and 17 in the two respective polls. 4-2 overall, 2-0 in the league. UNH 3-3, 1-1 in league play. Saturday, 1 o'clock over at Mews Stadium. GoRhody.com/tickets for tickets, and 401-874-RAMS. You can call to get your tickets as well and go old school, right? Calling for tickets.
Yeah, calling, yeah. See if
Wow.
you can get a hard ticket. I
That's
really
right.
don't know what those are anymore, but come out. I think, I'm hope we can get a packed house in there. I think that it always is a dogfight between these two teams. There's a growing rivalry.
I think the biggest rivalry for us in the CAA, right?
Rivalry can be, combined with animus feelings, hatred, and I think that there's a little bit of that. I mean, there's a lot of anger between the two teams, and it'll be a good physical match, and I know Ricky will have them ready.
Yeah, UNH leads the series, but Rhode Island at home, 22-25-2, so almost 500. They won a lot of early games. Lately, it's been an absolute battle. Last year, Rhode Island won 26-9 in New Hampshire. UNH was number 19 in the country then. Year before that at Mead, URI 34-28 in OT, and another overtime game the year before that when UNH stole one from us. Those guys with the whistles and flags
those
took
are the
it
guys
away,
that
right?
stole it. It wasn't
31-28. That was
cats,
OT as well.
The cats that never was.
Oh,
I
man.
mean, that was a tough one to swallow. But I think New Hampshire's been a program over the years that we've looked at and have great admiration for them. I mean, when throughout the years, I mean, they went to the NCAA playoffs. I think it was 17 straight years.
Wow.
That's not an easy thing, so let's go ahead and try to chase that record. I don't know if I'll be sitting here 17 years from now, but certainly would like to see if we can go ahead and find a way to get back in this year.
That would be absolutely awesome. One of the guys that helped get them there was Rick Santos, who's now their head coach, one of the great quarterbacks in the league, and he was those teams were just unreal. But he had an interesting thing to say on his conference on Monday, Coach, with the about the URI UNH game, and I think he put it perfectly. Us coming off the loss to Brown and them coming off a bad loss to Villanova, beat them pretty good. He said 2 angry teams going head to head. I think these 2 teams have a lot to react about.
Well, I certainly do, and we're all in the mix. I mean, it's still an early. We're right at mid-season at this point in time, and that was it was a tough out for them. He was talking about his team being younger and wasn't ready for the moment playing Villanova. Villanova was watching them. They're a very good football team.
Yeah.
But, in this league, it really doesn't matter. I mean, every week, if you're not prepared right now the right way or whatever happens, that anybody can beat anybody in this league. But, I feel really important that, you just mentioned Brown, and you've been kind not to bring up that game.
What game? I don't know what you're talking about.
I hear you. But, I think that, that I've understood, and I think our program understands, and certainly our families, the importance of that game. And, you don't usually apologize for not doing your part on the field, but I feel the need to do that. I mean, that game was a very important game for all of us. Not just our players, but the people that support us. We say we play for the state and we play for blue-collar people, and, that one we didn't carry the water very well, and we'll do better.
And interesting thing that you said Monday when asked about the Brown game, Cope, you said there's an empty spot in the trophy case right now at URI.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately we don't have a trophy case. I'm still trying to get some money to build that thing.
Figurative,
but we got it in there. It's just not out in public, but it is a spot. I know where it's supposed to belong, and we've known it for a long period of time, 6 years, and if we'd been able to accomplish the task, we would add an all-time record in terms of, I think, consecutive wins since the Governor Cup,
yeah.
But that's a tough one to swallow. But as I told the kids and been telling myself every morning, you got to move on. You can't let that game beat you twice. And I think that our kids have responded in an incredible fashion. We've had a great week of practice, and I can't wait to see their performance on Saturday.
Absolutely. Hey, a few things about Saturday's game. Again, 1 o'clock, Saturday, URI UNH, one of the great matchups and rivalries in URI's season for sure, and probably the best rivalry in the CAA year in and year out. The locality, it's only a couple hours up the road, a little less than that, with UMass no longer in the league. Back then it was UMass and URI. Now I think UNH takes over that bill. But it is Rhody Fights Cancer game, which is huge. Fans encouraged to wear pink to the game, and there'll be ways to help create awareness and appreciation for those fighting cancer and awareness about how people can help.
Yeah, I think it's very important. I think it's important to our kids. I mean, I think they started a little bit early at Brown. You started seeing the pink come into the uniforms.
Yes. Yep.
And I think that, when they strap on the pink, I think most of them and a lot of us have been affected by cancer in general.
Without question.
I think that when they put one on, they're thinking about a loved one that they might have lost to the disease, and that gives them a little bit extra to play for, but certainly worth the recognition, and wish we could eliminate all that kind of stuff in this world, but it's just, don't have the answers for that one.
Right, but we'll certainly do our best on Saturday to help those that do and to show our appreciation for their courage. Coach, it's also Youth Day with Rhody football, pregame clinic on Priori Field at 10 a.m., non-contact, boys and girls 12 years and under get a chance to get on the field and interact with some of the players and things of that sort.
It's a really cool event. I think that the youth leagues around here get together. The people that put it together have incredible attendance. These kids come out, they're running around. We have all our non-travel guys, meaning the guys that are probably redshirting or not involved in the game plan out there on the field. Putting them through drills, watching them running down, and the kids seem to have a great time. And, we got a chance, when we're at home, there's a big gap, between the time we finish pregame and final meetings right now till the time we got to get ready to go. And so you get some of the kids out there, and the kids, the little kids have a great time with it. And I like watching them run around. You can eyeball the ones that might turn into something, and you also eyeball the ones that are just try-hard guys,
That's right, exactly. Yeah. Exactly. Hey, a couple hours before game time is a good chance for you to, leave the stress behind a little bit and go out there and have a few minutes of fun.
I'll figure out a way to leave that behind after we get a victory here.
Yeah, that'll come about 4 o'clock, not 10 o'clock. And men's basketball open practice prior to the football game as well in the Ryan Center starting about 10:45. You can watch them up till noon and then go into the Mews Stadium and get ready for the big football game at 1 o'clock. So plenty doing around that game. Coach, you look at the stats, UNH and URI, and there's a lot of similarities. Points, 22 a game for URI, 21 for UNH. Points allowed, Rhode Island allows 21, first in the CAA. UNH allows 22, second right behind you in the CAA. Rushing offense, 106 yards per game for Rhode Island, 12th in the league. I think that's a number you really want to be able to push up. We can talk about that. And they're 107 right ahead of you at 11, so virtually a tie there. Rushing defense, 9 and 10 in the league with 170 and 181. And passing defense, Rhode Island number 1 in the league at 150, and they're number 3 at 170. So there's a lot of things that Rhode Island does well that UNH does well as well, and where Rhode Island struggles a little bit, so does UNH.
Yeah, well, we're going to have 2 evenly matched teams.
Yeah.
It's going to come down to who wants it more, who's most physical, and makes less mistakes, truthfully. And I think that, statistics, I get into a little bit, but it really isn't, it is what it is. You sit there, you're 6 games in, you've played a lot of different people, you haven't played similar opponents. I think what happens from here on out is really what sets the stage for who's the best in the league.
Yeah, without question. One of the guys that is certainly a huge factor as far as your running game is Antoine Littleton. Another guy from St. John's College, right? Rohan said he played with him as well, so pipeline for Rhode Island. But with him, Coach, give you a few numbers. 174 rushing plays by Rhode Island, 120 from Antoine so far this year. 71% of the carries for him throughout the year, and 71% of the yards rushing for this team as well. I saw on that field Brendan Barrow against Brown, who seems to be able to get in that mix and maybe be part of the answer to give Antoine a little bit of a break, right?
Yeah, I think that's a goal of ours to be able to go ahead and take a little load off Antoine. I'm sure he wants to stay in there every snap, but I think we can keep him fresh. He's a physical runner that will wear people down at the end of the day. But
Barrow's a different type of runner.
Barrow's
yeah,
completely different.
Right.
I mean, he's got some wiggle and some speed, and then you got Gabe Winowich, who has carried the ball a handful of times during the course of the year. He's shown improvement and looking forward.
People forget he's a young kid.
He's a young kid.
Yeah,
and then
right.
you got Terrence Campbell sitting there, who's sitting there. He's a monster, and Carson Harwood. He's still waiting for his opportunity to explode. But you only got a certain number of snaps, and we're going to go ahead and just kind of get our best people out there, and we'll roll from there.
About Barrow, you had said small in stature, big in heart.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, it's been a frustrating time for him.
Yeah,
I think that when you look at a kid who's had a hamstring injury since the end of training during the summer, it just never got right. Now all of a sudden, the last couple of weeks, he's starting to get in the groove, and he's got to be able to put together some performance on the field. I think he had a couple of good touches last week, and that will continue to grow and let him go ahead and be involved in the normal part of the offense.
Kind of opens up the book for Mike Flanagan, your offensive coordinator as well. Saw some multiple back sets that we hadn't seen prior to that with Brendan in there you can do.
Yeah, well, Feiner knows all about that.
Yep,
We had the little triple option look out there. That looked pretty tight.
That was awesome. Inverted wishbone over there.
Yeah, no doubt. So that was good. No, I mean we've got plenty in the playbook to be able to go to. But as everything else, it's a question of being able to go ahead and execute your assignment. Everybody doing their 1 of 11 at all times, and doing it with great passion and energy. And if we do that, we'll be fine.
Well, we talked a lot about the offense so far. On the defensive side, Coach, you've got Moses Mews at the top of the team with 53 tackles, 9 per game, and Rohan Davies 1 tackle behind him, Rohan. So big game coming up. You make sure that you get 1 more than Moses on Saturday at 1. He's 9 per game as well. They're both in the top 10 in the CAA. And then you've got AJ and also Mankins right after him. Those four guys, it's nice to see your linebackers and D-line guys with Case Mankins on the D-line up at the top of the list for tackles. That means you're making those tackles in the right spots.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, I think, gap control is critical. Those guys are coached very hard and very well. But what we need to do is we need to get around the ball even more. What we're lacking in is, the ability to get, the first one in, wrap up, we're good. Then we need to get second and thirds in there, and we need to start taking the ball off of people to try to even up that turnover margin.
Yeah, that's the big one, right? -7 in turnover margin, last in the CAA.
Yeah, it's a cancer. So cancer awareness. Yes, we got to stop that one as well. I mean, it's but it was similar to last year. And I told those that we were an aberration last year. We were negative in the turnover margin, where it found a way to win 11 games. We've got to correct that problem, or it's going to be difficult to continue to repeat like we did last year. That was unusual. So we got to hold on to it, and we got to take it off of people more.
Well, that's the thing, Coach. 14 turnovers so far, and that's a number that a lot of people talk about when they talk about the turnover margin -7 last in the league. But just 7 turnovers created. So what do you do? How do you approach that to get that number up?
Well, that's what I was leading to. I mean, is what you coach on defense is when you get the first contact, you're wrapping up, you're grabbing cloth, you're driving your feet, trying to knock them backwards. Mm-hmm. But you're also expecting you're going to get, help coming in. I thought there was a number of opportunities last week. Had we gone ahead and played a little bit more aggressively right now, you have a chance to come in and knock some things out. We're ball aware. We try to strip each other during practice, which means trying to get the ball off the offense. And sometimes, in my experience over the years coaching defense, it's tough, and then all of a sudden the floodgates open up,
sure.
and you get a real interest in doing it. I remember way back when I didn't know much better defensive, as a defensive coach, we had an expectation to get four a game.
Really?
And that was a number that I've never seen anybody else match, but way back when in 1990, we got it done with the Boise State Broncos. And had 43 takeaways in 1 year, and a bunch of them were fumbles. But we got to attack the ball. We got to be able to play physical, and we got to get more hats to the ball to give us a chance to get it out on the ground, and we will. And
there are so many great numbers for Rhode Island in the league standings and statistically speaking. The other one, though, that's you look at it, and you're the leader in offensive yards, yet in points you're down the list because in that red zone, Coach, number 14 in the CAA, 73% efficiency.
Yeah, that becomes difficult to swallow. There was a couple things that happened in the last 2 weeks where we got down there and we turned the ball over. We had a pick down in Western Michigan, down in that area. We had the play with Greg last week. When we got in and tried to strain for the end zone and fumbled it through the back of the end zone. So that was difficult to swallow. But we worked very hard on it. I got very confident that we'll be able to go ahead and take care of business down in that area. Obviously, I'd prefer to be able to not have to put it up in the air to do so, but, we got guys that can go up and get those balls too.
Absolutely.
So it's been good. But when you were talking about the turnovers, I mean, I think that the biggest thing, in terms of taking it away is having, the awareness. I mean, we had a muff punt last week right now where, if we had the awareness to be there and pick that ball, that's how you get them. You have to have multiple hats around the ball at all times and have to be aware for when that ball pops out, you got to be able to get it because we force some and they've been able to fall on them. And we got to make sure that we're there to be able to get them. And we need to do it, and we will.
Yes, absolutely. We had mentioned passing average and offensive numbers for you, very, very good. And Devin Farrell, of course, he's number 2 in the league and amongst the top 2 in the country in those numbers. Derek Robertson from Monmouth, if he wasn't around, Devin Farrell would be the best in the business here, but Robertson's off the charts. Yeah. But Devin continues to deliver for you.
Yeah, you look at him and how he operates. I mean, I think he's obviously an athletic kid. He can help you with his legs, but his throwing mechanics are outstanding. I think he's really grown within the structure of the offense as we've developed our intermediate passing game quite a bit more. He goes through his progressions. But, the other thing that's, not seen probably as much as it's worth the credit. I mean, he stands in there, he takes some licks.
Sure.
Now, we got to keep him clean. Yeah. But he's a courageous dude that will sit there when guys are coming in on him. He'll still deliver the ball, and done that a number of times this year, and had to get up off the ground afterwards.
And I know you don't want him carrying it a lot because you do want to keep him out there on the field all season long.
Yep.
But sometimes when he's flushed out of the pocket, would you like to see him tuck it under? And
yeah,
go?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Those are the things that you've got to you got to continue to grow. He's the decision maker. We coach him through it. He's got the ball in his hands, and there are times when he wants to get the ball downfield, and maybe he should just tuck it and run for 15. But he's grown in those areas throughout the year and throughout his career since we've had him, and it will continue to be. I had him in the office the other day, and he just says he feels really confident in terms of where he's at in his process and his ability to understand situations even better and better. So, his better days, like everybody else on our football team, are ahead of us. We just got to continue to go ahead and work hard to be a better football team every week. And so far, we're coming off a 2-game stretch that you can't really say that we've done that. So it's time to do that and put it together versus UNH.
Coach, we talked about him as a peer at the beginning. I want to get a note on each of them from you. Rohan Davy, a rarity in college sports, recruited out of high school, came to Rhode Island as a freshman. It's an old, talk about old school, right?
Well, I mean, we were very fortunate there. I mean, obviously, as you mentioned, St. John's has been very good to us.
Sure.
Those kids are well coached. They've got a good, they've got a very good attitude about how to play the game. I think their expectations and how to operate is above normal from high school kids. Now, Rohan comes in and, his stature isn't tall, but he plays big. And we were just thrilled to get him. He's got a tremendous attitude of gratitude, in terms of us giving him the opportunity, and he's embraced it and given us everything we need. With the departure of Hightower, here he comes in and he's held it down. So he's a tough kid that makes a lot of plays.
Absolutely. When we get Rohan out, we'll talk about his numbers, but he's at or near the top of our team and also at the league as well in all the defensive categories. And Connor Feiner coming out of Kennesaw State after 4 years there, Coach. Just a versatile offensive player that is a great guy to have for that year.
I mean, it's the sad thing about that, you only get him for a year. But, I mean, in terms of what he came here to do, he's doing. I think he was in a triple option, wasn't obviously involved heavy duty in the pass game there because they didn't do it a whole bunch. Flanagan had been down in Florida and knew about him coming out of high school, and then, there was great efforts made to keep him at Kennesaw, and he said, no, I want to come on up here and contribute to what we're doing up here, and think he can be a guy that can help expand our offense. And certainly, he's getting his hands on some balls and doing a lot with it after the catch, which is, really kind of special for a tight end.
Tim Stower was running the triple option here.
I remember.
And back then we used to do a pregame interview with him for a few moments and everything. Coach, keys to the game. I'd finish up with that. Every single game, every single year. Well, we're going to run the fullback. We're going to cut down on penalties and be careful of the turnovers. How was it? I said, Coach, let me record that. Then you don't have to bother coming out.
That was part of the history of Rhode Island football. He was a national championship coach at Georgia Southern.
Yeah, right.
Came on up here. Yep. I remember reading that was one of the strangest hires in the world to get that up here in Rhode Island.
National Coach of the Year.
But, small world story is that, my neighbor right across the street, a guy named Mike Adler, his daughter and Tim's daughter were best friends. And so I'm driving home one day, and I see this lady. I stop and talk to him, and it's Tim Stower's daughter. So I said, give me your phone, give me the number. We called Tim. I had a good converation with him, but
awesome.
It was just like that. And
that's it.
Jim, you're doing a hell of a job up there.
Go run that fullback.
Get the fullback going.
Now you can tell him we don't even have a fullback.
Hey, listen, man, I've been begging the offense for old school trap, man. That's all I want to see.
That's just once, right?
Yeah,
we'll get one in somewhere. Coach, I probably won't see you the rest of the show because we went a little overtime. We got the two guys to get up. Right. So if I don't see you, I'll see you after the show. If not, we'll come back and talk for a couple of minutes. We'll be back with either Rohan or Connor, whoever wants to come up first. We're at the Mews Tavern, George McCullough's place. URI football, 1 o'clock on Saturday. GoRhody.com, 874 Rams. Back in a bit. Welcome back once again to the Mews Tavern. I want to thank George McCullough for springing loose and coming over from his other friends and saying hi to us. That was nice. George, he owns the place.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's the head honcho. He's the guy you want to get to know, Rohan, right there. He is He is a deal maker around these parts. I want to thank our friends at Pizza Gourmet, Rhode Island's Wood Grilled Pizza Crust, proud sponsor of URI football. Order online today at woodgrilledcrusts.com. That's woodgrilledcrusts.com. URI UNH coming up on Saturday at 1 o'clock. You ready for that one, Rohan?
Yes, sir.
All right, absolutely. Hey, I want to thank Andrew Meehan before we forget. Andrew's our executive producer and engineer in charge of all the broadcasts for URI football and basketball on the Rams Radio Network. So, Andrew, thanks for all your great work always. We appreciate having Andrew with us for a long time now. Rohan Davy, sophomore, linebacker, 5'10", out of Briggs Cheney, Maryland. 205?
Yes, sir. 205. Strong.
I was 205 at my first communion, I think. That was and it went bad from there. St. John's College High School. That's a nice pipeline. Coach was talking about it.
Yes, sir.
I know Kasim Hill was from there, and also Eddie Lee. They were teamed up here at Rhode Island. Basketball player Jeff Doughton was from there, and the head coach Dave Cox, he was from there as well at that time. And you had a couple of teammates now that that you had together in Maryland.
Yes, sir. I had two teammates. Number 4, Antoine Littleton, and I got also a freshman, incoming freshman, walk-on, Reese Williams, number 42.
Yep. So talk about how much you knew about them and what they were like back then and what they're like now.
Growing up in middle school, Antoine Littleton was always like a powerful running back growing up. So most youth football programs, they always talked about him.
Oh,
his tenacity.
So he was almost as big as he is now then? Like,
I ain't gonna lie, he was probably bigger.
No!
Yeah, a little bit bigger.
Really?
So he was in 8th grade. He was big, like probably 235,
no
240
kidding.
as an 8th grader.
Wow.
So, yeah, he wreaked havoc. Reese Williams, I played with his older brother, Shaw Williams. His older brother goes to University of Maryland.
Oh, okay.
He wears number 21. So Reese Williams, he's an explosive guy.
He's going to be he's probably redshirting this year.
Yes,
and we got stockpiled with good receivers. But he's part of the future for the University of Rhode Island without question. I was reading about him, just a talented kid.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and you've seen that, right? So you know a little bit about what's coming, and you'll be around for when he's around. You know, he's on the field as well, because you've got plenty of years just as a sophomore here. And then Mitch Gardner as well. He's from around your area, and you played against him, right?
Yeah, he went to DeMatha High School when I played him, but now in high school he transferred to St. Vincent Pallotti High School, so I didn't get the chance to play him again until we got to college.
So you played him that once, right?
Yes, sir.
And did you beat him?
Yeah, we did.
You did? All right. We're going to remember that.
We beat them my freshman year, and they came around after COVID, and they beat us.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So they're 1-1 against them.
Yes, sir.
All right. Sounds good. That's fair enough. Hey, freshman year, got some time out there, but special teams and a little bit out of the linebacker position against Mercer, right? You got some time, right? So a little bit of work, but this year a huge jump in that that area. I'll give you some of the stats so everybody gets updated. Number 2 on the team in tackles with 52. You're 1 behind Moses. Number 6 in the CAA for Moses. No, you're number 6 in the CAA. Check it again. Moses 6, you're 8 in the CAA. You're number 2 on Rhode Island right behind him. TFLs, you've got 9. Number 1 for URI and number 2 in the league. And sacks, you've got 4. Number 1 at URI and number 5 in the league. Talk about the big jump between freshman year and sophomore year for you.
The big jump for me was more mentally, more than physically. So it was just about getting into the meeting room with Coach Laurenti and just going over all the little details, really understanding the scheme and how we function and how Rhode Island football really is.
If I told you on, October 9th, 2024, that you were going to have those numbers that we talked about sitting here at the Mews Tavern on October 9th, 2025, would you have believed it?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Because with work comes results.
Absolutely.
And every day, if you keep giving your all, the results will show.
Give us an idea of your work ethic. What's a typical day, maybe in the off-season typical day? Because we know you're working hard during the season.
My freshman year, we'll go through spring workout, so wake up around 5 o'clock in the morning. We start lifting weights in the weight room, usually an upper body day. We start going in there and doing mat drills probably around like 7:30, 7:25.
Yeah.
After mat drills, I usually meet with Coach Laurenti if he has the time before they go into the unit meetings, just to get a little time outside of our designated time with our position meetings. After that, I'll go do class, come back to the facility after, and then we have position meetings with just everybody. And after that, I'll ask Coach Laurenti if he even had more time before he went home.
That's fantastic. That's how you get to be a sophomore and be one of the leading tacklers and sack producers and TFL guys in the CAA, right? Absolutely. Well done. I think that deserves a round of applause. That was fantastic. Hey, coming into camp, it had to be fun for you, right? Lost a lot of key guys on the defensive side. Devin Hightower, Cole Brockwell, your positions, and also Harold Miles and Gabe Solomon's, a long list. And so there were jobs open all around, and here you walk into camp, right? That had to be pretty fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun, pretty exciting knowing that I have an opportunity to show my work ethic and the type of player I am on the field. So it was exciting to be able to show that.
And now those guys are gone, graduated and everything, but you've got a new group with Mitchell Gardner and Moses and you and Sam and John Boyles, a lot of guys that are your teammates now and have filled in those gaps and got the number one defense, one of the best defenses in this league. Talk about those guys, your teammates at your position and the other defensive positions.
Man, them guys are special. I love those guys with all my heart. They keep me going. Every morning when I don't have the energy to keep going, they give me more. They give me the energy in the meeting rooms. They give me the energy early in the treatment rooms when I see them in the morning. So I love everything about them guys. The work ethic, how they go about everything.
How much does it help having A.J. Pena out there on the field, drawing a lot of attention from the other team, for you to get your opportunities to get those sack numbers and TFLs up?
I feel like it goes hand in hand. Because at some point they acknowledge me in the box, even though I'm the shortest guy on the field. And then A.J. get to eat, so we feed off of each other, all of us.
Yeah, absolutely. What is your strength, do you think? Maybe your top two strengths, and then a couple of areas where you'd like to, maybe by the start of next year, see yourself improve a little bit.
Most people see my strength as my biggest weakness, but my height.
Yeah.
My ability to play low, my center of gravity. Most guys is, like you said, 6 foot plus, so they have to play down to my level. It's not like I'm playing down to theirs.
So there are some liabilities to you being undersized, but also some advantages as well, right?
Yes,
How do you overcome the liabilities? Just like you said, I guess, right? Now, what are the advantages, right?
Advantages is most O-linemen, they can't touch me, or they have to try to hold me, and you can't really hold me because even though I'm small, I'm strong, so I can hold my own too.
You're right, exactly, and your speed can get you by those guys more than bigger players can. Chris Loreni is your defensive coordinator. You mentioned that he's a big part of your work day as well.
Yes, sir.
And talk about his influence on you.
He's a big part of my everyday life. I mean, he has a strong influence since I stepped inside the building. You know what I'm saying? My first day here, he took the time out to meet with me and to know my knowledge of the game and to teach me the structure of the defense. So that really helped me in my game today.
Kareem Wilson goes down in that the Stony Brook game.
Yes, sir.
And the defense kind of had a moment there, the whole team, right? And then the next 2 weekends, you give up 7 points and 7 points, right? 14 points over 2 games. Talk about how you guys came together for one of your teammates.
Kareem Wilson is a big part of our team, even though he's down. After that, it just showed us, like, we watched the type of work Kareem put in. Early mornings, late nights, he used to stay on the field until about 8:30 at night when no one's on the field. So, like, to see his work ethic and for him to go down in the game, it was devastating for all of us. So it just fueled us even more.
So you gave up those 7s, right? So it's a great number in both those games. You guys looking for a shutout somewhere in here?
Yes, sir. That's the goal.
Yeah, and those 7s came early, right? I think they were both in the first quarter of those games. It was certainly the first half. But if you get to that third quarter, that fourth quarter, is that the talk on the sidelines?
Yes, sir. We always win we try our hardest to prioritize winning the fourth quarter and winning the middle 8.
And you guys have outscored your opponents. I think it's by 35 in the fourth quarter. I think they've scored, I think it's like 15 points on you guys in the fourth quarter of games, the first 6 games of the year. It's a huge number in favor of URI. So here's how we finish up with the players. We do a Know Your Hometown, okay? So that means Briggs, Cheney, Maryland, right?
Yes, sir.
Proud citizen of Briggs, Cheney, Maryland. What county is Briggs, Cheney located in?
Montgomery County.
Montgomery County is right. Okay, sounds good. A little cocky on that answer. Okay, all right. Well, just for that, I'm going to go to my tough questions. All right, that is correct. We got a 5 for you here. We're going to do 5 for Connor when he comes up and see who gets the most. Who was Briggs Cheney named after? What was the town named after? I'm going to give you a hint and say this is not a trick question. So who was it named? Who who would they name? Briggs
Cheney.
Briggs Cheney is correct. Very good. That is excellent. You wish your final exams would be that easy, right?
I wish.
That would be great. Maryland teammates on URI. You got to name the three of them. Well, you already did, so that's
Mitchell Gardner, Antoine Littleton, Reese Williams.
You got it. 1, 2, and 3. You are 3 for 3 so far. Okay. Let's see. Bridge Cheney Estates is there, right? There's 3 area codes. Give me 2 of them.
301, 202.
301 and.
Oh, no, 240.
240.
301. 202 is a D.C. number, Washington, D.C.
Yeah, and the other was 227. I'm going to give you credit for that. Nice going. This is the final one. Current events. A fisherman named Mark Spagnola caught a 78-pound fish in Maryland on September 21st of this year to be the largest catch ever in the history of Maryland. Is that true or false?
True.
That is true. Good guess on that one. All right. I saw your copy of Field of Stream over there, so I knew you probably were going to get that one. That is a perfect 5 for 5. Nice going, Rohan.
Thank you.
Hey, congratulations on a great first half of the year. We look forward to seeing you out there Saturday and making this big run in the last half.
Yes,
okay?
sir. I won't stop. Appreciate it.
All right. Appreciate it. Rohan Davy, ladies and gentlemen. Quick break. We're going to be back with Connor Feiner. Welcome back once again to the Mews Tavern, the Jim Fleming Coaches Show. Coach was on talking about UNH coming to town on Saturday at 1 o'clock over at Meade Stadium, Rhode Island. 2-0 in the CAA, and the last 6 games are all CAA games. Connor, got to make you excited, right?
Yes, sir.
This is the time when it gets back to the non-conference games are done, and they were fun. But here we go with everything on the table for Rhode Island at 2-0, defending champs, and a 6-game home stretch to hopefully get right to that finish line before anybody else. I want to thank our friends at New England Laborers. New England Laborers are training today's workforce to build tomorrow's communities with cutting-edge facilities in Rhode Island, Massachusetts, and Connecticut. You'll gain the classroom and job site experience needed for a rewarding career in construction. Again, Saturday's game, everybody asked to wear pink to the game, and we're going to honor those who are battling with various types of cancer and celebrate their successes and their courage along the way as well. Connor Feiner is with us, tight end, wide receiver, running back, slot receiver, quarterback going to throw the ball before the season's over. I think we're going to get a little halfback option in there for you or something. Out of Kennesaw State, where you were there for 4 years.
Yes,
and just talk about the opportunity. You know what? Kennesaw State's playing tonight.
They are, yeah.
Yeah, they got, is it Louisiana Tech?
Yep, LA Tech.
Yep. So I have to. You follow them?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah,
My
you got a
buddies
lot of
are
friends
there,
on your
so.
team, right? And
Yeah.
everything. I'm sure it was a good time for you, but even a better time to come to the University of Rhode Island. You mentioned off the air with me that you knew what you were here to do, and this was the perfect role for you. Talk about what got you to URI.
I mean, pretty short and simple. Mike Flanagan, his idea of what his plan was for me, it was just untouchable compared to everyone else that offered me in the portal. The versatility that they had to provide for me in this offense is just something that's very rare in college football.
Yeah.
Especially for like a tight end body, or a tight end type position where you can play all over the field. That's just something I just couldn't pass up on. The opportunity to really showcase what I can do, because I came from, like everyone knows, like a triple option offense. You don't really get the ball much.
Yeah.
You're always blocking, being tough, physical. But bringing that here, being a tough guy, but then being able to make plays in space, I mean, it's just something you just can't pass up.
Absolutely. 24 catches so far in the first 6 games of the year, number 3 on the team behind the big 2. So that is a pretty good spot to be. 307 yards, number 3 on the team there, too. 13 yards per catch, get a lot of yards after the catch. Number 3 on that spot, and then 51 yards per game, also third behind the same 2 guys, and a long of 35. No touchdowns yet, though.
No touchdowns.
We've got to find number 2 in the end zone before the season ends. If you're a little taller, it might be a little easier to find you, but we got to get one of those before we already got a touchdown from a tight end in that first game, right?
Yeah.
When Schaefer caught that ball 31 yards in the end zone for a big one against Campbell. So we got to do something about that. But also in the top 20 in the CAA in receiving yards per game and receptions per game as well, with 4 catches per game for those 51 that we talked about. Tommy Smith is a name that you're probably sick of hearing. He did last year what you're doing this year. Did that influence why we see you in Kingston?
No, most definitely. Like seeing what he put on tape, the opportunities that he got with the ball in his hands, that's just something that I want to be a part of. The way that he was moved all over the field, the way he was used, in different concepts, just something that really grabbed my attention, something that I thought I could be the best of my abilities, and definitely just one of the main reasons I, chose this school over everyone else.
I'm sure Coach Flan made that known to you, right? But you mentioned to me that you talked to Tommy, too, before you came.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've met Tommy a couple of times. Great guy. He got an opportunity to go to the next level, showcase his abilities even more. And that just seeing him, get that opportunity, that's something that motivated me as well, especially coming from a school like Rhode Island where it's not as big as, all the other FBS schools. But that's an opportunity that I want to be able to pursue as well. So.
When you talk to Tommy, what do you talk about?
Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, ball and opportunities. Like everything. He just told me, his story, and what his plans are in the future.
Yeah. So it was steady growth for you, right? First 2 weekends, Campbell and Stony Brook, 1 catch in each of those. Right. And then 5 against Holy Cross, 4 against LIU, 5 against Western Michigan, and then 8 against Brown. Talk about the elevation of targets and catches.
Well, I was never, expecting the ball every other play. It's just I was just here to do my job, do whatever I can to help the offense elevate, do my 111. Every play, I got an assignment. I got to execute my assignment for the offense. I'm not really a selfish person when it comes to the ball. I don't really, say I need it. But if I'm open, I'm there. Devin's going to know. He gets me the rock. Yeah. That's all that matters. I'm more worried about winning than the stats. Like, it's not a big deal to me.
Was it a matter of confidence, both confidence in yourself and the coach's confidence in calling number 2? Or?
Yeah, I would say so. I've always had confidence in myself, no matter what the play is or what I'm doing. Mm-hmm. And I think, the effort I put in practice just gives the coaches confidence as well to that they can trust me with the ball in my hand.
And we mentioned Marquise and Greg are the 2 guys above you in most of the receiving categories, but you're next in line. When how much is their influence on plays, stretching vertically, allow you to get those underneath catches?
I mean, it's awesome because you just look at our offense as a whole. Like, we have so many threats. Even the people that aren't on the field, they're still threats. Like, it's so good for a person like Devin because he's got all these options, to get the ball to, and just – there's no going wrong every play, You can get the ball to somebody, and we're going to make a play. So, and them being as dangerous as they are with Keese and Greg, it's pretty good for me, Get the dump.
Yeah, and Antoine's been a good check down guy for him, and you play that role and also design routes for you to get you the ball. And when you get it, a lot of tight ends, when they catch the ball, that's where the ball finishes up, right? Yeah. With you, yards after the catch is a big part of your game.
Definitely. That's something I, work very hard on, work on my ability to stay on my feet, break tackles. I think that's the best part of the ball, what you can do with, after you catch the ball, some moves, get on the highlight tape. But
we talked with Rohan about being a small linebacker. You're a small tight end. So does that give you an advantage when you get that maybe in the second tier of the defense to be able to avoid a tackle and pick up an extra 7 or
most
10
definitely.
yards?
Yeah, most definitely. I think, like my size advantage is, I think it's in favor of myself. I'm very fast. Like, I bring a big punch, Mm-hmm. It's a lot quicker than the bigger tight ends. I'm great in space, getting into the perimeter. It creates a lot of mismatches, all over the field. So I think that's something we just keep taking advantage of week in and week out.
Do you consider yourself a tight end? I mean, you played half the positions on the offensive side.
I consider myself a football player. I line up everywhere, do what I'm told.
Because it's like, where's Waldo for the play-by-play guys?
Yeah.
It's like, where's number 2?
Yeah.
Slot back or, wide out or tight end or H-back or running back against Brown a couple of times, setting up in the backfield. Do you enjoy that?
I love it. I love being back there. It's pretty cool. It feels like I'm the main character.
Coach, we want to Connor wants to throw a ball before the end, a little halfback option for him or something.
He knows about it. He knows I got that cannon.
Okay. Because we want to set some kind of record for most positions in the course of a course of the season. And you blend well with you've got Kevin Schaefer with you. When there's two tight ends, it's usually you two, and then Matt Smith in that rotation as well. You got a good depth at tight end. Talk about your teammates at your position.
Our tight end room, like we call ourselves the pack.
The pack?
Yeah, we're always rolling together. Those are my boys. I trust in all of them as they trust in me. I'm very confident in everyone in that room. We're all so talented, and we all can do different things differently. I think any of us can excel no matter what we're doing, no matter what the play call is. We can all, like, everyone can run routes, everyone can block, and it's just this bond that we have that, if we're both in, we know we're going to dominate every time. So.
Absolutely. So the pack is we're going to get nicknames because we had Touchdown Tommy for Smith, right? It's all marketing, right? It's all marketing. We're going to come up with one for Connor Finer. We'll work on that a little bit. Certainly, that's an important part of it. We talked about your skill set, what you like about what you do. Same question as I had for Rohan. 12 months from now, or a little less, when the 2026 season would have began. I know you're a one-year player, but so down the stretch here, where would you like to see improvement in yourself?
Shoot, some improvement myself would definitely be some size. If I want to play the next level, you got to put on some size, especially with this versatile position I'm on. I'm not going to be able to just run routes all the time, or I would just play receiver. So I got to put on some weight. I want to be able to showcase, the scouts and these next level opportunities that I can really be put everywhere over the field. So just my overall goal is just keep the same work ethic I've had since a kid, and just trust God's plan for me, and just go from there.
Scale of 1 to 10. Give yourself a grade on 1 to 10 as a pass catcher.
As a fact, I have the most confidence in myself as anyone else, so I'd say a 10.
Okay. How about as a blocker from the tight end position?
I'd say a 10.
10, all right. Sounds good. How about as a teammate?
A 10.
And how about as an interview on the Jim Fleming Coaches Show?
Probably like a
2. Hey, I think it's time for Know Your Hometown. You ready?
Yeah,
This is, what is Newport Richey, Florida like? Is that a pretty good spot?
It's a great spot.
Yeah?
Very underrated place, just north of Tampa. Nothing too big that goes down there. Really just football.
Yeah, I know. I looked on Wikipedia for some information. There wasn't much going on, that's for sure. I had to dig pretty deep to get something here. What county is Newport Richey in?
It's Pasco County.
Pasco County, 1 for 1 so far. And remember, your teammate over here went 5 for 5, so you got some work to do. URI teammate who lives the closest to Newport Richey.
That's Trey Alexander.
This is what I think. Is it Trey Alexander?
It is, yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take your word for it. I had Justin Carcelli from Port St. Lucie. Is that close to you?
That's pretty far.
Is it pretty far? Okay, well, that's good. I don't know anything about that. Over-under on the population of Newport Richey, okay, in 2020 census, right? Is it over or under 15,000?
Oh, it's over.
Over?
Yeah, I think
well,
so.
It is, but it's not like as easy as you think. 16,728. And with you out of town, that goes to 727, right? So, all right, Kaiser College is a satellite campus in Newport Richey. 2 of your teammates transferred from Kaiser College. Who are they?
Justin Carcel.
Yeah.
And Trey Lubin.
Trey Lubin is right. Yeah, you got both of them. That's very good. Excellent. Okay, final question here. NFL player from your hometown who played for the Florida Gators and the Miami Dolphins in the mid-2015 and 16.
I think his name's Leon Orr.
Leon Orr is correct. Very good. Did you get them all? You got them all. You tied with Rohan. It's unbelievable. That is fantastic. Coach, we don't have time to bring you back out. Sorry. I know that disappoints you. How about a nice round of applause for Rohan Davy and also Connor Finer, Jim Fleming. Saturday, 1 o'clock, GoRhody.com and 874-RAMS. Get your tickets and come to the Mews Stadium, and let's cheer on the Rams. All CAA games the rest of the way. Connor, congratulations on the first half. That is just fantastic, and good luck on Saturday and going forward.
Yes, sir. More to come.
Pleasure to have you. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming out to the Mews. We'll see you.